Ethnic federalism, a flawed experiment? Ethiopia is a nation of immense diversity. It boasts a rich tapestry of ethnic groups, each with its own distinct language, culture, and history. In an attempt to manage this diversity, Ethiopia embarked on an experiment in 1995 ethnic federalism. This system, enshrined in the constitution, granted significant autonomy to 9 regional states, largely divided along ethnic lines. The idea was to give each group a degree of self-governance and prevent domination by any one group. On the surface, it seemed like a noble endeavor, a way to foster unity in diversity. However, the reality has proven far more complex and troubling. Ethnic federalism, while well-intentioned, has inadvertently exacerbated the very divisions it sought to mitigate. Instead of fostering unity, it has fueled a sense of competition and mistrust among different groups. This has led to frequent clashes over resources, land, and political power. The fault lines of ethnicity, once blurred, have become increasingly pronounced and volatile. Moreover, the system has created a zero-sum game where one group's gain is often perceived as another group's loss. This has intensified intergroup tensions and made it challenging to address grievances peacefully. The very foundation of ethnic federalism, based on the idea of distinct ethnic homelands, has inadvertently reinforced the notion of difference and sowed the seeds of division. As a result, Ethiopia today stands at a crossroads, grappling with the unintended consequences of a system that has fallen short of its aspirations. The descent into chaos conflicts engulf Ethiopia. The failure of ethnic federalism is most starkly evident in the numerous conflicts that have plagued Ethiopia in recent years. The most notable of these is the Tigray conflict, which erupted in 2020. The Tigray People's Liberation Front, representing the Tigrayan minority, challenged the federal government's authority, plunging the country into a brutal civil war. The conflict, marked by widespread atrocities and human rights abuses, has claimed the lives of thousands and displaced millions more. But the Tigray conflict is just one symptom of a deeper malaise. In other parts of the country, ethnic tensions have also flared up, leading to violence and displacement. The Amhara region, for instance, has witnessed the rise of Fano, an armed group that opposes ethnic federalism and seeks greater autonomy for the Amhara people. Clashes between Fano and government forces have resulted in a humanitarian crisis, with civilians caught in the crossfire. The violence has not been limited to armed groups either. Intercommunal violence, fueled by ethnic animosity and competition over resources, has become increasingly common. The proliferation of small arms and the weakening of traditional conflict resolution mechanisms have further exacerbated the situation. The result is a climate of fear and uncertainty, where violence can erupt at any moment, tearing apart the already fragile social fabric of the nation. Echoes of Rwanda, a warning we cannot ignore. The escalating ethnic violence in Ethiopia has sent chills down the spines of many international observers, evoking haunting memories of the Rwandan genocide of 1994. While the situations are not identical, the parallels are too striking to ignore. In both cases, ethnic divisions, exploited and inflamed by political actors, created a fertile ground for mass violence. In Rwanda, the Hutu majority, fueled by a campaign of hatred and misinformation, turned on the Tutsi minority, unleashing a wave of unimaginable brutality. Over a span of just 100 days, nearly 1 million people were slaughtered, often by their neighbors and fellow citizens. The world watched in horror as a nation descended into madness, forever scarred by the wounds of genocide. While Ethiopia is not on the brink of genocide, the warning signs are flashing red. The rhetoric of ethnic hatred, the targeting of civilians based on ethnicity, and the failure to address past grievances all raise serious concerns. It is imperative that Ethiopian leaders and citizens alike learn from the tragic lessons of Rwanda. Ignoring the dangers of ethnic division, especially in a country as diverse and volatile as Ethiopia, is akin to playing with fire. Charting a new course towards a unified Ethiopia. The future of Ethiopia hangs in the balance. The path of ethnic federalism has led the country to the precipice of disaster. To avert further bloodshed and secure a peaceful future, Ethiopia must chart a new course, one that embraces its diversity while forging a shared national identity. This will require a fundamental shift in mindset, away from the zero-sum politics of ethnic competition and towards a more inclusive and equitable society. Firstly, Ethiopia must move beyond the divisive system of ethnic federalism. This does not necessarily mean abolishing it outright, but rather reforming it to ensure that it promotes unity rather than division. One option could be to transition towards a system based on geography rather than ethnicity, thereby reducing the salience of ethnic identity in politics. Secondly, Ethiopia must prioritize justice and reconciliation. Addressing past grievances and ensuring accountability for human rights violations are crucial steps in healing the wounds of the past and preventing future atrocities. This will require establishing an independent and impartial mechanism to investigate and prosecute those responsible for atrocities, regardless of their ethnicity or political affiliation. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, Ethiopia must invest in civic education and promote a culture of tolerance and respect for diversity. This will involve fostering inter-ethnic dialogue, promoting understanding and empathy across ethnic lines, and nurturing a shared sense of national identity. The youth in particular must be empowered to become agents of change, rejecting the politics of division and embracing a future where ethnicity is a source of strength rather than a source of conflict.